Hey man, so I am back for episode 2. And episode 1 was like, yeah, it was actually low key surreal because I low key wasn't expecting to actually post it. I came this close to not posting it, but I did. And what actually pushed me, I literally saw a post by Scissor. and I literally like I posted all of it, all of the carousel on like my Instagram. It was like, uh I grieve for like the art that doesn't get made because it's cringe. I grieve for the art that doesn't get made because there's better things to do and yada yada yada. And honestly, that was the pushing force. I was like, you know what? Yes, Scissor, I hear you. I hear you, and I will post it. It was like she was speaking to me. She was like, Emmanuel, post this, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we move. Uh, and yeah, I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who watched episode 1 and everyone who tuned in for, well, who's tuning in for episode 2. And everyone who commented, everyone who subscribed, everyone who liked, everyone who did all the things we were posting and yada yada yada. Thank you very much because it genuinely means a lot to me. Because yeah, it's like I said, it's been difficult. But you know how it is. You know what it is. Welcome back. This is the Back of the Class show, and I am your host, Dammy the Creator. Before we get into the things today, subscribe, like, follow, do everything. Go check out the socials for the show. It's at Back OT Class Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And me personally, at Dammy underscore the creator on all, well, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. So yeah, go give a follow, repost the content, and I will make sure to bring some more. And I also made a blunder in the last episode. I'm gonna fix that. Every new episodes will be coming every Friday. That's the plan. That's what I think would work best. So for now at least. So new episodes every Friday, not every Wednesday, like I said on the last episode. But yeah, so stay tuned. Look forward to shit every Friday. Every Friday is a day in school. That was stupid. Uh but yeah. So actually, I did record something else like last week. Actually, the day after I recorded episode 1, I recorded something else. But I decided not to post it because it came from like a place of anger, I believe. I think it definitely did. And so I decided not to because I wasn't speaking well. I was a bit tapped in it. But let's talk about it. The first thing I spoke about on like when I recorded was about code switching because I had an interview. I had an interview on that day. And so I said, you know what, let me actually talk about this. But then I also listened after I recorded. I listened to another podcast, and she was talking about code switching this, and I was like, ooh, like yeah, do I really want to do this? It's gonna look like but fuck it, because so many people have spoken about code switching, but none of them are me. This is my perspective on the thing. So I had an interview, and I caught myself code switching. Well, I was speaking like some. I was like, oh yeah, I like to do this. I am very much into like calculations and mathematics and like the structural analysis of things. Like I would like a mechanical engineering type of job. But that's genuinely how I speak. Like I'm on a big man thing. I'm like, I'm fuck this shit. But you know what? I understand a lot of people who watch this would understand what it means to code switch, and that's basically when you're just who you are, or you're just the way you speak to fit your environment, to fit the people you're trying to address. And it's a thing that a lot of disenfranchised people have to do. So people of color, people in the LGBTQ community, uh, women as wait, yes, I think women as well, actually. I believe women, because in the workforce, like, women have to take on a more, like, masculine type energy, to, like, to get ahead at work, which is kind of weird because it's like, but essentially, women don't get to be themselves, whenever they're in, like, male-dominated workforces or, like, environments or clubs and things like that. So, yes, women do code switch as well. So yeah, as I say, it's like something that I call myself, and I was like, when did I start doing this? Because I think it started a lot further into the past than I can recall. So probably childhood, just consuming white media, consuming Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and all the other things, man, and like internalizing the way they speak, their accents, things like that, and then moving here for my university study, having to switch up my accent a little bit so people could understand me better. Uh, but also the media I consume, music as well goes into this. If I'm being fully honest, I think music goes more into my authentic self than into my code switch self. So for the code switch, and I think it's mostly from like television and professional speak and things like that. And it's just something that I find interesting. It's like ideally I would like to be who I am. I would like to be my full authentic self. But I understand that because of the environment, because of the society that we live in, that's kind of hard, it's kind of difficult to do. Because especially when it comes to finding jobs and things, you have to present yourself a certain way. You have to be able to speak a certain language. And on the topic of like presenting myself a certain way, whenever I have interviews as well, I take off all my piercings, even well, not always. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be me. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be me, and and it goes well. Like, I don't think a lot of people care as much as I care, which is actually also something that's very interesting. Is that there's a lot of like the internalized notion, the internalized topic goes a lot further than the actual than the actual feedback from people around me, which again would speak to the influence of media and the influence of like of everything around that's not actual reality. But yeah, I take off my piercings and shit, and I dress a certain way. And even when I do get jobs and stuff, like when I'm actually employed, I always go to the office like with like pants, with like a shirt, and then a lot of my colleagues are like, a lot of the colleagues are like putting up in hoodies and stuff. And I'm just like, damn, your niggas is comfortable. When I say niggas, I don't actually mean niggas. I mean them people. They're actually very comfortable and like they get to be themselves. Which, if I'm being fully honest, I'm jealous. That's why it's like, damn, I would like to pull up as me, but I can't because me doesn't fit the narrative that the world operates on currently, and that's very depressing. I actually remember one instance, like back in one of my internships, I actually slipped up. I think someone was like, yeah, someone came was looking for like my supervisor or something, and like it was me and like some of my other colleagues. It was kind of our supervisor, like for all of us, technically, kinda, not really. So like they pulled through and they were like, "Oh yeah, have you seen Mister? Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Oh yeah, he dipped a couple seconds ago." And I was like, "Whoa, did I really just say he dipped?" And he didn't hear me, but like my colleagues heard me and they were like, "Oi, oi, don't say that." And what's interesting is that this colleague was also black, and I'm not saying this in the vibe of like he was trying to make me who I'm not. I'm saying this more in the vibe like he was trying to protect me because he's also older than I am. Like that's like a very key instance when it comes to code switch. Like that pops up in my mind every time I think about code switching. But yeah, that happened. And also back to like the first episode. Once again, thank you to everyone who listened. And I deep in like obviously right now it's like mostly a lot of like my friends and family and things like that because obviously I'm just starting up and something that I thought about like that was like well more like a not a realization because I've always known this but it was something that was like damn I have the best friends type beat because I genuinely love my friends like I genuinely do and then this ties into like another conversation that's like I guess ongoing on the internet of like platonic friendships. So so yeah, and it's something that I think I want to talk about. Like so there's different parts of this that I want to talk about. I want to talk about like platonic friendships in like in comparison to what's romantic relationships. And I also just want to talk about like just friendships, because I've noticed, or like I've been told that the types of friendships that I keep are like very different from like the regular type friendship, especially since a lot of my friends happen to be women. And I say happen to be women because it wasn't like on a vibe of like, oh, I just want to be friends with women because nah, that's kind of weird. I also have male friends, and my relationship with my male friends is also quite similar to my relationships with my female friends as well. So yeah. But anyways, so what am I trying to say? So me and my friends have like this very close knitted friendship, and I'd like to stick to like my male friends for now because this is something that I don't see happen a lot outside of my friendships. And I think and again, this ties back to the last episode, the patriarchy. And this very much ties into the concept of the patriarchy and what's considered masculine and things like that. So my friends and I, first of all, we say I love you quite frequently, like not on a daily thing, but we do say it frequently. And we also have this as for like the regular type friendship where we don't necessarily talk every day, but we genuinely do love each other, and like we say it and we tell each other and everything like that. And, like we're very close with each other and seek advice from each other and shit like that. And I think it's something because for me it's always been like, I'm just gonna do me when it comes to friendships. I'm just gonna do what I'm comfortable with, what I want to do, and have my boundaries. And if the other person doesn't communicate that, hey, your boundaries don't intersect or like don't align with mine, I'm just gonna be like, oi, you didn't tell me shit, so fuck it. So yeah, so that's been the case, and because I guess I am kind of a very intimate person when it comes to my friendship as well, because like literally, I think it was like a couple of days ago. Saturday is Friday. It was like on, yeah, it was on Friday. So 2 days ago, I was on the phone with like one of my friends, and she was heading over to like a sleepover type beat with some of our other friends, and I was like, oh damn, I would have liked to pull through. It was like an all women's thing, so yeah, I was like, oh damn, okay, fair enough. And I was just like, yeah, just say hi to everyone and like give everyone forehead kisses for me, and that's genuinely something that I do with my friends. Like it even gets bad to the point, like not bad, but it's so ingrained in me and like natural to me to the point where like a few of my friends, like, well, one of them in particular, one day was just like, you give me forehead kisses, and I'm like, oh shit, do I? Because like we saw like a TikTok or like a YouTube video or something, like we're watching TikTok together. Like we saw a TikTok, she was like, you do that to me. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that because like genuinely, I'm just like, "Mwah," fuck it, like on a big like goodbye, mwah, forehead kiss, bye, type beat. And like that's kind of just how I show affection to my friends. Like just show that, hey, I know we don't speak every day, but I genuinely love you. And it's not like I don't want to talk to you every day. It's just more on the vibe of like I cannot talk to you every day because work, because I'm stuck in my own head and shit like that. And yeah, and like it's literally the same with my male friends as well. Like I give them hugs, like if they allow, I give them kisses because can't lie. Sometimes toxic masculinity, not all times healthy, sometimes toxic. But I do give some like little forehead kiss, little kiss on the cheek type beat, because why not? Like I don't I don't see why not. And like yeah, so like this now ties to the next point. Platonic friendships with relations to romantic ones. That's crazy. That's actually peak. So now that's gonna be my sound recording. Oh my goodness. I think that was a firework, not a gunshot. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, so platonic friendships with relations to uh uh romantic friendships. Okay, once again, because I need to clip this. So platonic friendships with relation to romantic relationships. One thing that I think is very that's wild. One thing that I think that is very essential that people do is to genuinely be in love with your friends. And this is not on a vibe of like be in love with them like you're in love with your girlfriend or boyfriend or partner or whoever it is that you're with. More like be in love with them because they are your friend. Like genuinely love them. Because one, you have more friendships than relationships in life, or at least that's what I think. Like, because yeah, because there'll definitely be times where you don't have like you're single. So in those times that you're single, you probably still have friends. So you have more friendships than relationships in life. So why not be in love with your friends? Why not love your friends the way you want to be loved, or the way you want a partner to love you, or like the way you want to love your partner? Because Because if you do that, one, it reduces the pressure of like being in a relationship. Because a lot of people in relationships just to be in relationships, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people don't need or don't want to be in relationships. They're just in relationships. But if you're in love with your friends, if a relationship comes, you're like, I bet. But if it doesn't, you're also happy because you more or less have a partner at the or partners even. Like you have friends that that are there for you, that you are there for, that more or less fulfill certain needs that you more or less might want from a partner. And I think it's very essential that people learn to love their friends and like genuinely love them and not only just be friends but be in actual relationships with your friends. Because apart from like the whole thing of taking pressure away from wanting to be in a relationship, it also helps you learn to draw boundaries and learn to respect boundaries, because that's something that a lot of people fail to do in relationships. And I think it's because in your friendships those lines are kind of blurry. They're like blurry as hell, and that's because people are not like genuinely uh invested in your friendships. So it's more like surface level type beat where it's like, oh yeah, we're friends, but like you need to be friends, you need to be dedicated. You need to like love this person to the point where if they did something that crossed your boundary, it would genuinely hurt you, and you would communicate with that. You'd be able to communicate with said person, and said person will be able to listen to you and understand you, not take it personally as well. So I think that yeah, I think it's quite necessary to like to have these sorts of friendships where it's like it's so deeply ingrained. And also I also think if people like learn to love their friends, it also takes away the aspect of like friendships being transactional, because that's also something that happens a lot, especially friendships between people of opposite sexes. So like male and female friendships, it takes away like the whole transactionality of it, because if you love someone, I don't see why it should. Okay, I mean, fair enough. There should be a transaction in the sense that I meet your needs and you meet mine. Like I get that is a sort of transaction, and that should be there, because you can't have an uneven, like extremely evenly yoked friendship in that sense. But yeah, I think because there's this whole thing, and I'm sure everyone probably has heard of this, and this is literally beating a dead horse. But the vibe of like men can't be friends with women they unless they want to have sex with them. Women can't be well, this is not as popular as men wanting to be friends with women. It's not as popular as that, but this is also a thing that's especially spoken about in the male community, and like not necessarily in public like social media. But there's also this aspect of like women not wanting to be friends with men they cannot exploit for something, for like maybe for money or shit like that. And and again, like I said last week, oh shit, I didn't actually. This was a different episode. But anyways, I know I was like mentioning talking about fears. These are fears. Fears are not necessarily rational. And I know a lot of people right now would be like, oh yeah, fuck that, Because but I just want you to listen, because that reaction is a defense mechanism. Like it's stopping you from properly hearing, if that makes sense. So yeah, so like I was saying, the concept of men cannot be friends with women unless they want to have sex with them, and the concept of women cannot be friends with men unless they can exploit them. Like these two things are like, to me, they boggle my mind. Like they're like, oh my goodness, this is why this is crazy to me. But I can't deny that there are people who would definitely operate under that sense. So like yeah, there are definitely men who who believe they're in the friend zone, who want to clap cheeks, and that's the reason they want to be they're friends with certain women. And there are definitely women who are only friends with certain men because those men pay for dinner, send them money, pay for lunch and shit like that, you know. But at the same time, that shouldn't be the case. Like I think people should genuinely be able to be friends without, like, sure, there could be this aspect of things like 100%. If that's what you guys want, if that's the vibe, go for it. If both of you are happy with that certain situation, go for it. It's still a friendship. It's still a friendship with or without those aspects. But it shouldn't be a thing where there's like where it's such a prevailing thing that it's an idea that male and female friendships cannot exist platonically without one person benefiting from the other more than it is vice versa. And that's just weird because once again, me and my friends. Okay, so I spoke about me and my male friends. Now I'm gonna talk about me and my female friends. Not all of them, but like us, like literally only a very small percentage, and also a small percentage of my male friends, I guess. Like me and my female friends, we're very very close, and like we flirt with each other if if we're comfortable with it. Sometimes I've had to be like, yeah, not today, bro, and sometimes they've also been like, yeah, not today, bro. But it happens. But we flirt with each other. We're like, again, we tell each other I love you, and we're just like very open with each other about certain things that that a lot of people will look at and be like, are you sure you two are not clapping cheeks? But it's like, yeah. So like these are the friendships that I have, and everyone is happy with it. Everyone is comfortable. Everyone is satisfied. And I also have friendships with women where there's absolutely no flirting, absolutely no I love yous, absolutely no like, oh, are you clapping? Okay, I apologize for that. That was very childish. But like, I also have friendships like that, and also on the other side, I have friendships with some of my male friends where it's like we don't say I love you because they may not be comfortable with it. And that's fine with me, and we don't say like yeah. What was the first thing? Okay, yeah. So there's like no money involved and shit. There's no like flirting involved, and it's just like the traditional definition of a platonic friendship. But I also have friendship with certain of my male friends where it's like it's very sauce. It's what people nowadays would call zesty. It's a very zesty and fruity relationship. And like sometimes I've actually had people look at us like, are you guys together? And I'm like, nah, that's my homie for real. Like that's actually my homie for real. Like there was even one time, one of my male friends, his sister was literally like, bro, the way he talks about you, so like she was like, the way my friend talks about me, like you would definitely think we are together. And I was like, I hear it. Like that's actually what I want for my friendships. Like I want this is gonna sound very problematic, but I wanna blur the line so much with my friendships that it almost seems like we are together in a romantic relationship because that then shows that we love each other, like we love each other because we tend as a society we tend to put like a benchmark. You're like, you can love your friend but until this level, so that you can have from this level upward for your partner. And I'm just like, no, I love my friends, like I love them because chances are if I'm single they are my friends. So why not create happiness here? And also it's like I don't just wanna wait for like to have a partner or like be in a relationship with someone and then love someone. Like that's kind of weird because then that puts pressure on wanting a relationship, and that also puts pressure on like, okay, so you're the one person that I truly love, and because you're the one person that I truly love, you're the one person that I can burden with my shit. And that's like, no, fuck, no, fuck. Okay, I'm trying not to curse as much, but like, no, that doesn't make sense. Cause like, cause that's gonna put a burden on you, and that's gonna stress you out a lot. Like, no, I want to be able to be comfortable with other people that I truly love, i.e., my friends, and talk to them and like get advice from them and be intimate with them. Because not every time would you have a partner. Not every time would your partner be available, and not every time should you go to your partner because your partner is a person as well. Your partner cannot handle or like should not need to handle the full depth of your emotions of like your life because they have their lives as well. And this is not like the occupation unless your partner is a therapist. But even then, why is your partner your therapist? Like that's your partner and your therapist should be two different people. But that's besides the point. But like yeah, that's just something that I think about friendships. Like yes, I hear it. Like I hear that sometimes niggas do just want to clap cheeks, and for that reason they become friends with women. And sometimes women just want a free lunch. I just want steady lunch, and that's why they choose to be friends with certain men. But I don't think that should be the case. I think we should genuinely be in love with our friends. Because why? Because why not? Like, actually, why shouldn't we? You know, like there genuinely isn't any reason not to be in love with your friends. And I love my friends. I love them so much. Like, okay, this is too TMI, so no. But like, I genuinely love my friends, and I tell them as much as I feel comfortable telling them. Well, I don't tell them everything, and they also know this, and they respect it, and they're happy with it. The same way they don't tell me everything, and I respect it, and I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, but they're my friends, and I don't see why they cannot be family as well. But yeah, I have no idea how long this has been, and like my environment is getting noisy. There's like niggas doing work outside. So I'm just gonna stop this here for now. Maybe I might record something else as the week goes on and like match it up together, make a awkward transition type beat. But for now, this is the end of said episode. Once again, thank you for tuning in. This is actually fun. Like I'm actually enjoying myself, and like I love the fact that I'm doing this, and I am very happy. So once again, subscribe, leave a comment if you want. That is even perfect. Just comment, like just literally comment. You know, leave a like, follow the socials at Back OT Class Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and follow moi at Dami underscore the creator on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. I keep saying follow me on TikTok, but I have nothing on TikTok. But I'm going to. Oh no. I wanted to talk about something else, but I don't know if this is too long. You know what? I'll record it later and maybe attach it or maybe keep it. But yeah, and just to give a heads up, like or like to you know, a trailer for what I'll talk about. I want to talk about like white parents adopting black kids or like adopting kids of color. Because that's something else that I was thinking about this week. Because I had a conversation with someone else about it. Like that's just something. But yeah, stay tuned. Tune in again next week if you want to hear what I have to say about that. But in the meantime, do everything that I said, subscribe, like, comment, and everything. And before we go, also add the playlist. And like I did last week, I'll be adding 3 songs this week as well to the playlist. And the songs I'm adding this week are because Brent Fires is going on a world tour. He's gonna be in the Netherlands. He's coming. My man's is coming. You have no idea. Like Scissor and Brent, mm, chef kisses. Absolutely in love with them. So I'm adding 3 songs to the playlist. All 3 by Brent Fires. The first song that I will be adding is Fuck the World. Fuck the World. The second one that this is hard to choose. But the second song that I will be adding to the playlist is I like Jackie Brown. I'm gonna add Jackie Brown to the playlist as well. And lastly, drum rolls. I'm not gonna. I'm just thinking about what song I want because there's so many. There's so many good ones. Oh, give me a second. Yes. Lastly, I am going to add Rehab to the playlist. So yeah, I know. Fuck the world and Rehab. It's crazy. You know, someone. I think it's someone in. Oh no! Look at me. This is such an L moment. I am pretty sure about this, but it sounds weird. I'm pretty sure it's Winter in Paris and Summer in London. If I'm not correct, I'm gonna hate myself. But yeah, I'm adding these songs. I'm adding Fuck the World and I'm adding Rehab and I'm adding Jackie Brown. I might add something else. Who knows? We'll see. Okay. We'll move how we move in it. And so yeah, thank you for tuning in this week. And thank you for all of the supports that you've been given and things like that. And I hope to see you again next week. Once again, like, follow, subscribe, comment, do everything. You can find the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and you can find the socials TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at BackOT Class Show and at Demi underscore the creator. And like I said, love your friends. And on that note, I love everyone who listened to this. Thank you very much. Like, genuinely, I love you. And I'll see you again next week. Bye.